Thank you. Can I have something to put? This is here. The green one? Yeah. So, thank you all for this amazing meeting, and I will share with you our experiences on what the DESIS network can do for city making. This is our main. Just a very brief introduction about what is DESIS network, about social innovation through design thinking and design knowledge. So this is our main issue, but one of the most important things is about what's the social innovation we are talking about. And also, if we don't have a kind of official definition of what is social innovation, we can see in the DESIS work that is amazingly mainly being the concept of transformation. So this is a little bit theoretical, but anyway, this is a way on which our design actions can transform the localities where we live. So the main aim is to develop a new design culture and knowledge. So our discussions previously were very interesting for us. So what kind of new design knowledge and new schools we need for this new challenge we are facing now. So we can just list it like climate change or sustainability or local challenges anyway. So, and how we can educate this next generation. So how students can be agents of sustainable change. This is something that is, the word sustainability is in our name, designed for social innovation and sustainability. So what we have discussed before is something very interesting for us to continue. So to prepare students to be these critical and creative actors. So this direction of this transformation is something that we can and have and must discuss. What we can do together as 48 design schools all over the world. So it's a creative force. So we need to understand better and discuss what the direction we want to. As I think we should not be normative. What I have started to do as an international coordinator is to understand what the schools are doing. So what kind of activities they are doing in a way to go in this direction. So as I have said, it's 48 design schools, so you can see that it's geographically very well distributed all over the world. So that's why I'm saying that's an amazing channel for this kind of reflection, this a kind of, and the spread of network. I'm always receiving requests for new affiliations, and this is a kind of snowing ball thing that is happening. So now in this event, I received like 2 schools that are interested to join. I'm managing some requests also that are in the process of affiliation. So this is growing and growing. This is, of course, increase our responsibility. But I would like to make a reflection today about that DESIS network is a network of universities and design schools based on universities. So what comes out is that universities are placed in cities, and many universities transform, and we have a lot of cases here today, transform the cities around them. Universities, and specifically design schools, are also transforming themselves. So how we can be a social innovation ourselves. So this is something very important for us to think. So we are trying to be social innovative as a network, but how our design schools can be also a force, driving force for social innovation in localities. And of course, we can make some examples of what is going on. So how we became, as universities and design schools, an hybrid space of learning. So, and of course, all the presentations from the schools that were taking place here before, saying how students, community members, staff, and everybody can work together. Universities that interact creatively with the surrounding neighborhoods, that we have also in these previous presentations examples of that. So, not only delivering prestigious learning, but also reversing the flow of knowledge to say what the society and people has to teach us. I have, for example, an amazing example in Brazil of that. So the university opened their doors for popular knowledge. So students just sit to listen to people outside universities and to create this virtuous circle. And play a role in economic and social development of cities and facilitating this collaboration. We have also examples here, like NICE, as Professor Lu has presented, and so on. So, this is, as I have said before, our students as agents of change immersed in the city. And this is a kind of term that have been also very well explored in Brazil. This is a computer, like each student are living in the city, in their neighborhoods where they live, in their communities, in their condominiums. And if we prepare them for this, they can be a spread agent of change all over the city and all over the place where that DESIS network is active. Anyway, get little things done in a learning by doing process, considering that they are invested in the context they are working with, instead of going to another context. So it's also a possibility. And all this is developed or would be developed by DESIS Labs. And my main question as coordinator said how DESIS network can support local labs in these processes. So this was my main reflection for this day, and I would like to share with you, is that when I started, I looked to the DESIS network and I say, okay, we have 48 DESIS labs all over the world. I have listened of your experience today. I got updates of Tongji DESIS lab projects. So I'm there and say, oh my God, they are doing amazing. They are doing things in the nodes, but who knows what is happening in the nodes? So 48 people just committed to, with challenges, because it's not obvious that you can do that in some schools, or you can have some challenge, but what is going on? So this is a kind of zoom out of DESIS. And I said, okay, how, and the main issue is who we are. That was the amazing, and that's what is going on now. Who we are. So do you imagine when I don't think I can do this. Okay. What is a research and coordination plan? Because if you have 48 design schools that declare they do design for social innovation, it's an amazing source of knowledge of what is design for social innovation today. So what kind of idea of transformation they have, what kind of knowledge they are producing in the nodes, how can we dig into it and learn from it? So this is research, also a coordination and a research plan. So my proposition is collect, analyze DESIS Labs practice and projects, communicate the state of art of DESIS network production, and give visibility by identifying the sectors, give some knowledge to this work in the nodes. I just make a break to say, I have participated. We as DESIS didn't really realize who we are. Because I was working in an European project, and I was, okay, I'm a DESIS lab, I'm DESIS have 10 years, DESIS have been always there. But then right there, that was like sociologists, that were engineers, and that were political scientists, that have listed social networks, social innovation networks they would like to study. So what was Hackerspace, Fab Labs, and there were DESIS. I said, okay, so when I started to coordinate DESIS, I was like, okay, this recognition that we don't really realize is happening. So I said, okay, we need to, understand who we are, because they want to understand who we are. Why we don't do that? That's the point. So, the first step, very slowly, was to build a map of what is going on in DESIS. So, 10 years. We have some historical people here in the audience that were in the very beginning. I was in the very beginning also, so 10 years is a lot of, I cannot tell you the story, we can tell you this in the tea break, but anyway, 10 years is a lot of time, so 48 DESIS labs have participated, so there is also this historical process on DESIS, right? So, very simple. It's a kind of map. Maybe we cannot call it a map. It's a table of main areas. We did a nice workshop to define these areas. And each number is a project from the DESIS labs. We choose only one project from each DESIS lab. Because we have the big census in 2014, when the DESIS network is formally recognized as an association. So they have also juridical status. So we collected a lot of projects in 2014, and we said, okay, let's see what kind of projects DESIS have developed until 2014. And then this map comes out, and you can see these yellow areas. So here are like the areas of DESIS, areas of design activities, and these are some areas of food making, clothing, caring, housing, like crossing over design activities and strategic areas. And then these areas come out that are three. And one of them is what we are doing today, discussing today, that was designed for social innovation in city. There were a lot of labs working with the city and placemaking. And there are two other areas that I cannot discuss now because it is not the issue of our meeting, that was design for social innovation services and design for social innovation local economy. So these two areas are being also explored. But the issue is that we start to work on these three areas to say, let's dig more. So in 2014, what is happening in 2018? So we did another call for DESIS labs, and participation was amazing, that must say. We are starting to feel ourselves a community. So I said, let's see what we are doing together, and people start to send projects. So we updated these projects and organized them in these three areas. I created this transparent process because I would like everybody that is a member of the DESIS lab there here to say, all labs are in the platform. This is also in our statute, this transparency. So you can enter in the DESIS in the website and see all the projects there. So you can have also your own thematic areas and interpret what is going on in DESIS if you want to join us in this effort. So not only DESIS labs, but some researcher. It will be very nice for us to have new visions, as you have said, answering to you, like we can, David, we can use new lenses to understand what is going on there. So, the first initiative is a light publication. We call it light because, okay, this is a collection of projects, understood, but light does not mean simple, it's just light. So, this is the first booklet that came out. We are finishing it, okay? So, we have an exhibition upstairs also about this booklet. So, the areas that we have discussing today are in the booklet. The booklet we are reviewing, getting feedbacks from authors. It will be available in DESIS website soon, so you can just see it. The design for social cohesion, these are the projects involved. This is one of them in Janeiro, Virginia. We describe the project, each project in each area. Other area that we have discussed also in this meeting is design for regenerating commons. So, David has presented the campus project, so that's it, is there. This is here. The description of the project and design for urban production. So, we have all these projects, also nice is here. So, from Tongji, DESIS lab, and so on and so forth. So, the fourth area is design for urban infrastructure. So we have projects that are very inclusive. So we have projects from Brazil, my homeland, from all over the world. So 48 design locations in the world. So this is one of the projects from my university. So the idea is also this communication that the schools is a light and replicable exhibition. So this exhibition upstairs, I hope also you have the booklet and you can download the exhibition. So you can just make up in your local lab a discussion about these areas or other areas you are working with. So this is also kind of communication. So this is upstairs if you want to visit us. The 4 areas and so on and so forth. The same will be for the other thematic areas. And we have the thematic cluster design for collaborative cities that they did a presentation about what is going on in Barcelona, but it's a big initiative that is more, I can say, research-based. So it's a reflection about what is going on in our labs and that's embedded more with a kind of research activity. So, DESIS network in city making. I try to find out a kind of framework on which I could present to you the strategy and what we are doing in DESIS. This is a little bit long to explain, but anyway, you can understand that it's a kind of matrix on which we can link explicit knowledge that we already done in our labs. So how can we dig on this and give visibility to this, standardize what we do, the socialization, so how can we have conversations about our own knowledge, how we can, learning by doing, how can we work together, recombining our explicit knowledge in new projects, and how we transform this in learning and community building, so who we are, how this became our identity. So, this is a synthesis of what is going on and what we would like to do strategically, and I'm working on it. So, we are here, this event is here. So our event is here, and the exhibition above. So we are discussing creating community building. We are knowing each other. So I know now what is going on in Elizava. We are linking our knowledge, and we are building on. We have a lot of works in this area. But the next step for us would be to work in this part of the matrix. So how can we develop more joint projects between the labs and, for example, about the cities, and how we can generate this common knowledge between us. So the DESIS Labs activities, how can they can be reinforced by us, and the joint projects as a kind of articulate us in common endeavors that are also in the network level. This is a kind of example what is going on. So, this is my interpretation at the moment. So, the international network that is DESIS is here, supporting this continuous process in the labs and of developing pioneering projects that can show to stakeholders in our localities the new design knowledge and the new design capabilities we have and we are developing. So these projects we are doing are kind of examples of what a new generation of designers can do. This production knowledge codified and structured in DESIS. So this became a knowledge that is, I don't know if I can say in English, teachable, educated, educational material for students. That, of course, became actors of these new pioneering projects, and so on and so forth. This is a machine, right? So, we in DESIS codify this knowledge, and you codify at a local level, but you raise this in a network level, and we can just make this machine move. And the right representation of this machine, and I think that I'm acknowledging this now, would be like, because each cycle is more a spiral, right? Each cycle we can know more, we can do more pioneering projects, so we can run also in this level, but we can also explore new dimensions. So this is the idea. And now, as I said before, we are working here, production of knowledge. So on. And of course, if I bring this expo here in Tongji, I bring this knowledge to the student level that can also inspire new projects. So this is a machine. I would like to make, I will not talk about my projects, my home projects. I will tell you about more how this is related with DESIS. As an example of my own home, like DESIS lab. DESIS is Federal University of Rio. I'm based in Rio de Janeiro, so this is the name. I would like to show how this works in a model based on Brazilian national policy for public universities. This is being a way we are connecting this with the DESIS network. As an example, right? Every one of you have your own way to relate with DESIS. Okay. So this is what I have shown. So in the end, we are talking about 3 pillars, like projects in relation to society, research and didactic. That's what we need to do, okay, as a university and as a professor. Here, of course, could be like any kind of projects, but what I said before, we want this to be transformative. So, what is going on is that in Brazil, we have a permit policy in which we can accredit some projects, and DESIS is one of these projects, and we can give credits to students to participate in these projects. So what's going on? This is a kind of alternative currency, so I said I'm working with DESIS, I can earn some academic credits for this. Professors need to advance their professional career doing these kind of projects and transformative projects, I must say. So there is kind of value to say we can transform better and improve the quality of our everyday life in the city, and we need to generate recognized value for social innovators. So we have this embedded in the way our universities work, but we need for sure to, how can I say here, sorry? I can only advance my professional career as a professor if I have this kind of projects with social innovators. So the DESIS network work already, the DESIS lab work already in this circle I have told you. But what kind of value DESIS network bring for us? So as I said in the beginning, we have this kind of things happening in universities. And these processes are supported by our policy, but in the end, and to finish, I would like to say how DESIS is helping us at a local level. 2 things. The first one, and this is not my opinion, I have interviewed the DESIS members. And for this project I have mentioned, on which we have investigated DESIS and social innovation networks, and I have asked, what is the perceived value of the DESIS for you? And one of these is to say, for some schools, there are some reputation. So that a local node to say, I can do this project. I have a background of universities doing similar projects. So at a local level, in the school, this is being very powerful for some schools to promote change at a local level. In my own experience, I can tell you that it's working. So I have these projects, but I have this, okay, I want to say this, but there are these and these and these and these labs doing. Should we do also? Should we connect? Should we find our way to do it at the local level? And that way, these 2 things are connected. So how we can, of course, be network for change. Of course, this kind of thing can work more if we have a well knowledge of what is going on in the nodes, and we have a clear knowledge of what we are doing together. So I said, I want to do this too in my local level, right? So for me, it's working also. I can testify you as a driving force for my connection between teaching, research, and relation with society working better. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. And I think we all benefit from the network, also